is, running it down on these niggas.
Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we get it, my nigga. Still be painting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that raw and fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never will hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
How the traps right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen another nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back.
It's your boy Bullets Gotti. This video right here that I'm doing is I wanted to touch on this subject about, you know, the shade that Alpo was getting out here by a lot of dudes on their platforms. But I really wanna address like the guys like the Cavarios and the chiles. Because, you know, when Poe was here, and not only just them, but, you know, the main hoes and all these guys, the rapper niggas, the Mice Horns and all them, was throwing shells at, you know, Poe. But my thing is with, you know, how people be, you know, like when I watch Cavario, and I don't have an issue with Cavario, but I have a critique, and we all have to critique people on, you know, certain BS. And, you know, when I watch Cavario on certain platforms, or I watch, you know, people like chiles, and, you know, people give them this high esteem. I don't understand it. Personally, I just don't. Because I'm going to be honest with you, right? Chiles is a man to me. He didn't do certain things that I thought as a man supposed to. And then when he started throwing shots at AZ and, you know, and saying the things he was saying, and then said what he said about Poe, but wasn't man enough to go meet Poe when Poe was reaching out, and he saw his son outside the club, and he reached out, and he didn't, you know, see him face to face. I just didn't like that. And I felt that, you know, for a dude that say he stand for certain principles, you got to stand on all. But I remember I heard a story where Jimmy smacked the shit out of Kevin Chiles. You know, true story. Smacked the shit out of Kevin Chiles. This is way back, you know, when his wife, who was Cavario ex, wrote an article about Jimmy Henchman. Now, let me say this, right? Because I was watching, you know, I was supposed to been at did a video on Cavario and chiles. I believe that these two dudes believe they own hype. And they make themselves seem like they were bigger than what they were, and they weren't. You know, you got to remember, Cavario worked for Butch Cassidy. You know, Kev worked for Al B. You know, he wasn't his own boss. You got to really get that clear, okay? And I watched these same two dudes, you know, shit on with the brother Anton. And I'm going to say shout out to Anton. Shout out to Anton. Shout out to Anton Clark. Because what he did with Feuds magazine, he's a godfather of this shit. Because nobody else was doing street magazine. And then it was him and the kid Jules. Shout out to Jules, Felons magazine. That really, and let me say this too. Don Diva is the creation of Jules. I'm going to say that right now. That was his creation, his baby. He made the first issue of Don Diva magazine. And it has the imprint of Felon at the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? And I did a video about this before. Dudes hated on Anton Clark because he was the undisputed king of street magazines. Chiles, Cavario, these dudes was hating, talking about we don't interview rats, right? They talk all this, we don't interview rats, but Cavario was trying to get an interview with Poe and trying to get an interview with this one and that one. But they had this thing, they don't interview rats, right? Right? This is why son put hands on son. You know? And I read, you know, Kev Child's book, and I read Cavario book. And when I look at both of them brothers, right, I always say, like, y'all was hustling. Y'all did what y'all did in the game, but y'all wasn't on the level of and y'all both from the Bronx, right? Y'all wasn't on the level of the Boy Georges, the Chicky Bulls, the Los, the Billy Guys. Y'all was on a level, but y'all wasn't on that level. And then when y'all got into the magazine, because Kev Childs, he got into that magazine through his girl, who was his wife, who was still fucking around with Cavario. I heard stories of, you know, when he was locked up, that she was sliding out Trump Towers with Cavario. They was sliding out of Trump Towers together. And she at the time was with this nigga Kev Childs, right? Now, mind you, Kevin Childs, and like I tell people all the time, I don't have a hate for the brother. I don't. But I feel like, you know, if something happened to my mother or anybody's mother, right? The girl was supposed to die. Straight like that. And I agree with Poe, and I agree with many other street dudes that I've had conversations with. Like, they don't respect that nigga. They say what they want about AZ, but at least AZ got a level of respect by niggas. Kev don't get that, because just because you stood tall and you went to trial and you got a mistrial and you took it on the chin and you did your 8, cool. You did your 8 years. It was 8 years. You did 8 years. You did your 8 years and you came home. But what dudes don't respect is, you know, this bitch lines your mother up. You know, she should have never even made it to court. She shouldn't even made it alive. My mother gets killed, and bitch, you brought these motherfuckers to my mom's house. You gotta go. You gotta go. You know, and that was your man's girl, Crusader Rob, and that was a violation. That was a violation. And that's why Poe felt the way he felt when he said in the interview that when I reached out to him to do it, he's like, nah, you know, like they about to hit this nigga. This nigga, like, people keep looking at it like Cross was known for, you know, doing what he doing. You know, it was a few cats in that time frame that was known for that stick up, tying people up, and murdering. You had Ron Duell and Ace, Henry Bolden, and Ronald Timmons, right? You had Preacher and them, you know, King Allah, and you had Tom Cross and his crew, right? And K-Son, I forgot, K-Son and Allah Justice, they was also, you know, one of them guys that was like tying motherfuckers up and killing them, right? So these dudes was just known for that, just being brutal. You know, you got stick-up kids, but you got murderous stick-up kids, and these was the murderous stick-up kids, you know what I'm saying? Around that time. People give flack to OG Mac and don't give him his credit, but OG Mac was the only one that put the green light on Tom Cross. And he rode out for his man OG Ty, who got killed in '87, who was, you know, cool with Gusto. Shout out to Gusto. I just saw his interview. He talked about a little bit of it. Teddy Riley talked about it. But that was Teddy Riley's peoples. Gusto and them peoples. OG Ty, you know, who got killed in '87, right? Due to that whole situation. So they put the green light on him, Tom Cross. But for a dude that's y'all call a respectable, honorable gangster, this man didn't move like a respectable, honorable gangster and moved like a gangster. He allowed this man to live. This man still doing what he doing. He's still putting fear in niggas. He's putting in a lot of work upstate. You hear the stories about dude, and, you know, never once put a bag, never once green lit, never did nothing. And the man was on the street before he even was in Georgia. Before he went to Georgia, he was still on the street. Still on the street. And Kev basically didn't do nothing. And I think that's why a lot of niggas just can't respect a nigga like that, because it's like, yo, dogs, you did what you did in the hustle game, but nigga, these niggas violated your family. You know, so now, fast forward, Cavario goes on the Beat 139. Shout out to my brothers at the Beat 139. My boy Keith Cash, Don Vito, and Doc. Shout out to my brothers. They goes on the Beat 139. Cavario. And you know, before the Cavario joint, you know, Samuel was up there. But Cavario went up there and was airing this nigga out, right? Now, these two niggas was working in the same company together. They was working in Dawn Diva together. When he came home, he was still on Dawn Diva, working there. And both of these niggas was fucking the same girl, Tiffany Chiles, right? The situation, which I tell people all the time, when you really look at it, you already know the tension was there, because what the nigga wrote about Kevin Chiles in a book, he said the nigga was scared of him. That's what he said in the book. The nigga was scared of him. And Dawn Diva is my magazine. But both of them don't understand, it was a Kid Jules magazine. And old girl bought the magazine from him, and that's became their magazine. Right? But the thing I don't like about both of these dudes is that I don't like the whole mythological shit with Cavario, with the whole animated. He's an animated dude, right? He always talk about, yo, these dudes ain't in the streets this way, and they ain't in the street that way, and they ain't moving this way, and they ain't doing that, and they ain't doing this, and I'm, you know, like, he always makes himself seem like he was like the toughest, roughest Don Dada in New York City, and nobody was on his level in the streets. And that's the way he paints his pictures and his narratives. And I get it. Everybody, you know, has to have confidence in themselves in the streets. But I do remember that when they printed that story about Young Buck getting robbed, you know, 50 gave them niggas no more business after that. You know, after that, 50 gave them niggas no more business after that whole situation in Chicago, because they went and interviewed the niggas, or Jojo Capone and a lot of them other niggas, and put the whole chain shit in the magazine. And that's why 50 wasn't rocking with them niggas. And then I watched Cavario said what he said about Puff. And I'm like, yo, nigga, you was with Puff All-Star Weekend before, you know, before 2020, you was, when they was in Atlanta in 2020, yeah, 2022, yeah, 2020, you was with Puff in Atlanta. Or that was I think it was 2021. Yeah, it was around that time. You was with Puff in Atlanta during All-Star Weekend in the club. So where all this animosity and all this talking crazy about Puff now, when you was in the club with this man? You was partying with this man. You know what I'm saying? You done did business with old boy. So when you come on your platform, you go on Our Profit and you make those false allegations and you paint these little fake ass stories, because that's what I think a lot of these niggas do. They paint their fucking narratives and stories and wanted to make it seem like it ain't what it ain't, and it is what it is, and that's not what it is. Okay, I've watched a lot of these OGs. They come up here and they make themselves look crazy, my nigga. They make themselves look crazy, my nigga. You know, I don't think the way these niggas move is certified or real niggas. I think they move like gossiping women. And anytime a nigga gotta always tell you about himself, right? Like, I didn't like how they try to paint him out with the whole Benzino shit, right? I didn't like that. I didn't like how they try to, like, say, oh, you know, because that wasn't what it was, right? But what I just don't like with the nigga is like, damn, nigga, why you can't be truthful with your shit, homie? Like, I would respect Cavario even more if the nigga was truthful with a lot of his shit. I would have respected him even more if he'd have kept it 1,000 with his shit. I think a lot of times when you listen to his rhetoric, some of it comes off, okay, it comes off real, but everything is, well, that was my crew. Well, I was down with this crew. I was down with Sex Money Murder. I was down with fucking Supreme Team. I was down with BMF. You was down with everything. Bro, okay, you know a lot of niggas, but you wasn't down with everybody, bro. Okay, you became, remember, Cavario, you said you got out the game in 91, 92. You was doing magazines, my nigga, whatever you was doing in the industry. But you said you got out the game and you was doing other shit. But you try to play out same gang niggas. You try to play out, and shout out to the same gang. You try to play out the same gang homies. Try to play out a lot of niggas. And I like what Gene Deal said. But you try to play certain individuals out like niggas wasn't on your level or they ain't real niggas. And I watched that interview that you did with Al Prophet. And I'm saying to myself, yo, this dude, he goes on Vlad, he's on Al Prophet, and he on here on these, he got these white motherfuckers believing he the biggest gangster in New York City. Biggest gangsters in New York City ain't on the camera. I see you in pictures with the real biggest gangsters in New York. I see you in the pictures with Eric B and Big D and you know, Ronnie bumping them and, you know, official men. But the way you paint and perpetuate in your stories, it just make you seem like, dog, you just you doing too much. You don't gotta be that extra. And the thing is, I kind of see your side on the Kevin Child shit. Cause that was your bitch. You know, and she was with you when the nigga was locked up. You know, you was still fucking around with her when the nigga was locked up. Niggas told me, they was like, yo, Cavario was still fucking with Shorty while nigga was locked up. Saw him coming out of Trump Towers together at night. You know what I'm saying? So, I get it, my nigga. You know, the way you paint your stories is how you want to paint your stories. But the real know what the real is. The real know what the real is, man. I read his book, Raised by Wolves, and there's a lot of shade with Cavario. I see he throws a lot of shade at a lot of niggas, man. Like Rich and A and LA and all them dudes, and he tried to make it like he was the only young nigga doing it. And like, nigga, you wasn't on doo-wop level. That in my opinion, WAP was the young nigga doing it. And then you had D Bonds, and then you had Rich, and then you had, you know, LA and Craig O and them, and you know, and go a little further, Stevie Mac and you know, and motherfucker Cisco Kid and you know, Bill Underwood and all them dudes like that was them niggas, you know, and like that 80s era, you know, D Bonds, LA, WAP, Rich, Craig O, like that was the original crew. Those were the young niggas that niggas looked up to, that made them young niggas jump off the porch. LA and them started that bike like shit. I don't know what the fuck. I saw him talking about, nigga, them niggas started that bike like shit. We gonna keep it treetop tall. There's a lot of shit that a lot of these niggas want to paint themselves. And I read Raised by Wolves, and there was a lot of cap in the book.
My mentor, Mr. Behar, and I purchased a friend of ours accounting firm.
Because really, Billy Guy, Los, they had Baltimore. They was out in Baltimore. In fact, Chrissy caught a case with the nigga Los in Baltimore. Facts. So, I get it. You was probably out there. But don't make it seem like you was that nigga. Because you try to downplay the rap niggas. You try to downplay the street niggas. You try to downplay everybody and try to make it seem like you was that nigga. And I get it. Everybody, that's the confidence. We all have to have confidence in ourselves to promote that we're those niggas, though. That's the guy. I'm the guy. You know, fuck them niggas. I was that guy. But you don't got to go online and tell the world that. The streets going to know that. And you know that, Cavario. You've been online for telling these stories, and just like with Kevin Charles. And I'm going to get on him too. Just like with Kevin Charles. He tell these fucking stories, and it's like, nigga, you did it to yourself. Let me explain something, right? Kevin Charles don't be truthful with his story. AZ Faison try to help him. When the nigga, y'all love to call him the hell no nigga to the no nigga, Bishop Bowinkle, that was the nigga that was snitching, that snitched on Kevin Charles and lined his ass up. And then Chuck Bourne flipped, but that was the nigga that lined him up. He did business with the nigga. Cause he was so greedy trying to get in the music industry. Nigga telling you, I ain't do business with the nigga. So don't do business with him. Instead, you got greedy. Your greed got you incarcerated. You was able to beat the case because you caught a mistrial, but you basically took the deal and you came home and did 8 years. But you came with this mission to blame AZ. Discredit him. You never did business with AZ. You never hung with AZ. You never did nothing with that man. But you made it your business to discredit that man. You made it your business to say what you say about Alpo, but Alpo was the one that reached out to you to help handle that situation when old girl lined your family up, your blood, you know? And people say what they want about Poe, but Poe was a loyal about his homies. And he considered you a homie, and he was loyal about you. And he was ready to ride for you, but you didn't want to. And the thing with you is just like with Cavario. Believe in your own hype. Believe in the myth. When Samuel went up there and said what he said about you, you got in your feelings. But niggas know that you ain't that nigga, okay? You got in your feelings because the truth came out about you. Glaze exposed that and Samuel exposed that. How they went to Albi and they went to you first. You know? The thing is that with you as a man, you can't get mad at other niggas because you feel like niggas trying to shit on your gangster. Nigga, Jimmy Henchman shit on your gangster when he smacked the shit out you. Jimmy Henchman shit on your gangster when he smacked the shit out of you. Cavario shitted on your gangster when he was fucking Tiffany while you was incarcerated. And shitted on you in his book, Raised by Wolves. Said you was shook when you saw him in the club. And you still had to do business with the nigga in the magazine. And then you got the nigga when you and the nigga, you push the nigga out the company. So, with you, and I say this about a lot of these niggas, they talk all that good shit, gangster shit, but niggas don't be living that shit. Because I can't understand as a man, how can you work with a nigga that fucked your bitch? That fucked your wife, nigga? Or I don't know, she might not be your wife no more. Might just be your baby mom's, whatever. But how can you work with a nigga that fucked your girl? How could you? You walk up to a nigga And the nigga played you out in his biography, in his book, Raised by Wolves, played you out, made you look like you wasn't that nigga. Okay? Made you look like you wasn't that nigga, bro. Let's keep it real. You know? Saying you disappeared in the crowd and all that. How you gonna play a nigga out like that? Say, yo, nigga disappeared in the crowd. I extended my hand and the nigga disappeared in the crowd. And then look, the nigga waited. He ain't say nothing. He waited till it was time to go and throw the shot at you. Went on the B139 and called you all type of frauds. But this is what happens when a nigga don't respect you as a motherfucking man. So he been thought you was a sucker and a bird and all that because he would have never had those type of respect for you. He would have had to have respect for you as a man because there's no way, my nigga, we working in the same business. Are you fucking my wife? Something gotta give here, bro. And you ain't never checked them on that. You know? And this is why I look at it like this, like, how can any man can get mad at anybody talking about them and then got the nerve to go and diss a brother like AZ? I diss him. That man pushed for peace. You got all these niggas coming at you because you didn't perform how you were supposed to perform when the shit hit the fan. Because the shit did hit the motherfucking fan. It hit the fan. If you really look at this whole dilemma that happened with Kevin Childs, right? His greed got him incarcerated. Nobody puts a fucking BMW in his store. He put a BMW in his fucking store, okay? He was doing too much. And not only that, he put the BMW in the store and he was doing too much, but the shit that he got himself into, nigga, you should have never did business with a nigga. If a nigga tell you, yo, a nigga bad, and he sending word to your man at the time, Chuck Boy, the nigga bad, and you ain't taking heed to the word, then nigga, that's on you. You went to jail because you was a dumbass. And a lot of shit that he was saying in the thing, it just didn't make no sense, my nigga. A lot of these niggas be saying any and everything, but they don't be making no sense. Like, this nigga talking about rats and snitches and all this. Snitch versus a witness, and you know, you pressing up on Flex and all that. And you talking about this and that, and you still ain't produced. Did these niggas really tell him? Niggas let you slide with that Queen's flip, Flex and all them. They let you flag. They let you slide with that because you was promoting a book. You should have never allowed that girl to go to the motherfucking, to testify on son. Should never let that happen. You should have handled that because as a man, they violated. Not going on Vlad and promoting your book. And this is why I say a lot of these niggas don't be living what they be saying. They talk all that about Poe, but Poe lived his life the way he lived his life, my nigga. And he did it his way, my nigga. You gotta respect that man. When he was still walking in these streets, you niggas was scared and petrified to even be in the same vicinity as this man. Vario was trying to get the nigga on Vlad. He dubbed the shit. And then next thing you know, you try to play him out, talk him out, yo, about Poe and this. And I'm like, damn, nigga. When a nigga was living, you was praising him. When the nigga died, oh, we don't know, but allegedly they say he dead. You know, we don't know. But you try to play him out. You try to play him out. He lied and said how Poe got his name. And like, nigga been capping. Cavario's a capper. That's the way I look at it. And a lot of niggas Gotta call him out. Gotta call Kevin Chiles, because these niggas is straight cap. Kevin Chiles and Cavario was straight cap. They capped about Dawn Diva. That's not their magazine. They was mad at Anton Clark because Anton Clark really owned this magazine. And that really, feds was really his shit. And he didn't have to cap. He didn't have to cap. That brother got interviews with everybody. I fucks with Anton. I look up to Anton Clark. And I told niggas this when I first did a video about this shit. I said, yo, all that shit that these niggas saying about Anton Clark and how they try to shit on Feds magazine, and still to this day they try to shit on it. Don't want to give that man his flowers. Niggas is interviewing Cavario and Chiles. Interview Anton Clark, my nigga. That man was the voice of the streets. Let's get Jules up there, the original founder of fucking Dawn Diva magazine. Shout out to Jules. Vario line about Dawn Diva. Nigga, you didn't start Dawn Diva. We know who started Dawn Diva, nigga. He got the first issue. Stop the lying. First issue of Dawn Diva had felons on it. Y'all niggas want to discredit niggas. Y'all don't want to give niggas they rightful just do flowers. Cause y'all know if y'all give niggas they rightful flowers, then y'all know y'all niggas will look crazy. Cause it's all coming out about a lot of you niggas, man. A lot of you old school 80s niggas, man. Y'all didn't do it right, man. Y'all can't be mad at other niggas, bro. Y'all niggas is cap. And a lot of shit gotta get exposed because we gotta stop calling niggas OGs. Just because they did time. Niggas ain't move like OGs in the street. Stop shitting on the real. Them niggas would have been cool. But because they was fucking the same girl, that's why they ain't cool. Both of them niggas is goofies. I don't have no hate for them, but both of them is goofies. Because you fucking this bitch, he fucking this bitch. Both of y'all niggas mad about, crying about a magazine. And then you got, like I said, Cavario downplaying niggas. Kevin Chiles downplaying niggas. They wonder why, when they did the article on World, and them niggas sued them. And was very upset because, nigga, y'all niggas put lies in y'all magazines. Kevin Chiles wife called David Hyatt a snitch. And they checked him on that. Jimmy Hitchman smacked the shit out that nigga. They got checked on that. What his wife said about him. So, come on, my nigga. Let's stop this, man. On Bullet's Gotti show, bro, we salute the real, nigga. We don't salute these cappers. And I know I got a couple motherfuckers that fuck with Cavario. I know a couple motherfuckers that fuck with Kev Chiles. But, nigga, stop the fucking capping, nigga. Stop the capping. We got to be truthful with a lot of this shit. Stop downplaying and hating on niggas. I saw the shit. He tried to downplay Puff. And, nigga, you just was in a picture with Puff at All-Star Weekend in Atlanta. I was at the party. The party was done by the homie. By the homie Biddy Barnes and Obi, nigga, in Atlanta. And I think it was Ruggs' party. Cardi B, QCP and all of them. Man, niggas was out there, Meek. It was like on a Sunday. You on stage with Puff, nigga. What you talking about? Puff is this, going that Puff and all that, talking about Puff is a homo and all that and this and that. But, nigga, you got multiple pictures with Puff, nigga. When you was promoting Dawn Diva, who you reached out to? Puff. But let these niggas lie and tell you these lies, nigga. Niggas got the receipts of these niggas in picture. That nigga in picture was Puff. But he tried to downplay everybody. Because a nigga a narcissist, my nigga. They straight up cap narcissist. Here's what it is.